It's an honor for me to be here today and to talk about Swisscom's story and how did Swisscom ended up in Riga. As is already mentioned, Swisscom is is the largest telecommunications company in Switzerland and also one of its largest IT companies. The company has roots from classical telecommunications business with telegrams in many years ago, and now is transforming to be a true global IT player. Just the size, Swisscom has around 19,000 employees and revenues of around 8 billion euros. Services provided by Swisscom include starting from mobile network and fixed landlines to IT products in sectors such as health, such as entertainment. So this gives you like the scope of how many things Swisscom is doing. Also, of course, to do this transformation from classic telecommunications to real IT player requires having the right talent. We believe that's a key aspect. That's why we work a lot on it, and I will explain also how it comes into play for Riga's story. But in Switzerland, we're among top employers competing with the likes of Google and Microsoft. And this is of kind of employer standards we also want to bring here in Riga. So our journey of Riga started in 2019. So before that, Swisscom was largely dependent on, let's say, external capacity, external knowledge, external contracts in their software development and operations fields. Realizing that that's not giving us the competitiveness in the market we want, that we want mastery and the skills and the know-how inside of the company, and that we also believe that we are capable and we want to participate in the war for the best talents on a larger scale. Early 2019, Swisscom opened a Devops center in Rotterdam. That was the first one. As a part of our insourcing strategy. And beginning of 2019, we also started a selection of another location for Swisscom Devops Center. The precondition was that it has to be in Europe. And then with the long list of 11 countries, that got shortened to 3 countries. And as I'm here today, you can guess that Riga was chosen. So what were the reasons that that helped Swisscom choose Riga? What I already mentioned, access to talents. We believe that Riga has a great potential here. In talents. We know that IT talents are scarce also in Latvia, but also everywhere in Europe and globally in the world. But we see that Latvia has great opportunities in developing this talent and also possibilities to attract talent from neighboring countries. One important thing that, for example, doesn't get looked at in SWOT analysis, like Mr. Fuller mentioned before, is cultural fit. And this, I would say, was amongst one of the most important decision points for us at Swisscom. The cultural fit in the sense of the mindset, in the sense of how people work in the culture of work, in the culture of negotiations, in the culture of business. This was something very important for us. Location, as I mentioned, being in Europe was a precondition, but what also was important was that, of course, Riga is easily reachable from Switzerland and also from Netherlands. That airport is easily reachable from the city center or the vice versa. These were the key aspects that made Riga attractive. And if we talk about the location, what was most important for our leadership team, from our management team in Switzerland, was that they want to come to Riga for work trips, that it's a nice city to be, that there's things to do, that it's pretty, that it's fun to be here, which was very important because we work in distributed teams and autonomous teams, and that means that to say perceive our company's culture, we have to meet the team colleagues. If you work separately, you still have to travel, meet them, build this trust, build this relationship, and therefore create this, say, reliability between the teams. And for this to travel back and forth, this was important that Swisscom Switzerland employees want to come here. And this is like a soft factor that is hard to measure, it's hard to put on paper, it's hard to, let's say, describe it, but that is something that has a lot of meaning. Of course, other thing for us as an IT company is cybersecurity and connectivity, one aspect being high-speed internet, network reliability, availability of that as well. But what is most important was data protection and cybersecurity. So our clients include banks, include defense industry, and their data, of course, is of utmost importance for us. And this was one of the key aspects that was asked from Swisscom management team. So what about cybersecurity, data protection in Latvia? And how to prove that to people who haven't worked in Latvia, who don't know Latvia as well. And what happened was we looked at a global cybersecurity ranking, where Latvia is ranked number 15 in the world, way above Switzerland and Netherlands, where we have already our Devops centers. So that also gave management team, let's say, the trust in Latvia in this prospect. And the last factor why we chose Riga is the business environment. Contrary to our Latvian belief that our tax system is complicated and complex, that is not the case if you compare it to Switzerland's tax system. So that was important, that it's easy to set up business, it's easy to open the business, it's easy to understand what taxes when you have to pay. Also, the support we gained from Latvia Investment and Development Agency in the process of establishing this company was tremendous and very valuable for us. So these kind of things, and also government taking care of such large investors as us, providing us green corridor and speeding up some, let's say, administrative procedures for us has also been very important to us. So how it all started, in November 2019, we established the legal entity here in Latvia, Swisscom Devops Center Latvia. In March, our first engineers started working here in Riga. In April, we moved into our, let's say, more permanent office solution. At that time, we had 8 employees. So growing every month, actively recruiting. I hope some of you have seen our ads looking for software engineers in all sorts of, let's say, programming languages and skills. In September, we celebrated our opening event, so a little bit later, but also because we wanted to do it on site, in person, with colleagues from Switzerland, Netherlands, so we waited when pandemic allowed us to do that. Great event, people still talking about it inside of our company. So recently, beginning of November, we had a, let's say, big decision made in Swisscom internally. So this first year was the so-called MVP phase, or minimal viable product phase, where we, for a 1 year, tested hypothesis we in Swisscom had about Riga. Does it match our expectations? Can we achieve our goals that we expected? And so beginning of November, the Swisscom Board of Directors approved Riga as it has met all the expectations, and that Swisscom will stay here for a long time and continue its investments. So that's great news. So what's next for Swisscom, and what's the Swisscom plans in Riga? So the plan is in next 4 years to grow up to 300 employees here in Riga. Of course, it's recruitment, but we also have already launched international internship program that we will continue to do. And by international internship program, I mean that during the internship here in Riga, you have a possibility to also visit other Swisscom locations. Next year, we will also start participating in other, let's say, skill developing activities and initiatives to develop IT talents here locally in Latvia. We also think that government is doing a great job with the education reforms, and we believe that this will, what I mentioned in the beginning, give the possibilities to have these, the right talents here in Riga. Of course, we will have to expand our office as we're growing quite rapidly. Next year also so Swisscom departments, other Swisscom units will start having employees in Riga. So currently, when we talk about the Devops Center, is software development department that has employees here in Riga. But next year also our departments from Swisscom have realized the possibilities Riga provides. So people from mobile department and also from network department are eager to have their talents placed here in Riga as well. Company-wide, we are now for the next 5 years undergoing a cloud-native transformation based on high-performance teams. We are moving all our software development into cloud, including our 5G mobile network. So We believe that we're a good telecommunications IT company that is pioneering in a lot of solutions and a lot of topics, but we want to go to great. We want to be even greater, even more innovative, and we think that innovation that our internal talents from Riga will bring will help us do that. So that, in short, will be all from me. To see how we develop, what activities we have, please feel to follow us on social media. You will also see the vacancies, but I think it will be a great growth story for everyone to watch. We learn every day something new, and so far, just good experiences here in Riga. Thank you, everyone.
Ms. Branta, I'm going to ask you to stay on stage because we have time for a question from Slido. Thank you for your presentation. Let's take a look at what we have here. I think number 2 here is really interesting because we were talking about education earlier. How would you rate the quality of IT programs in our universities? Have you considered collaborating with Latvia's universities in development of study programs?
So yeah, currently, this is where my previous experience from government side comes in. We believe that the double degree programs that have been developed by Riga Business School, by University of Latvia with Lincoln, TSI with University of West England are the way to go. That's the way how to quickly skill up our IT education programs to, let's say, Europe standard. We know UK education is highly valued in the world. And this helps us to offer competitive, interesting programs, and that also helps you to attract the students. Yes, also our plan is to cooperate with universities. This first year has been super busy with setting up the company, but in the future, yes, we do plan collaborating in developing these kind of programs with universities, definitely. And also providing some scholarships, for sure.